Okay. Inspired out of John 8. Father of lies. When he lies, he speaks his native language, for he is a liar and the father of lies. John 8. Victor slowly became addicted to pornography. Many of his friends looked at porn, and he fell into it too. But now he understands how wrong it was. He sinned against God, and it crushed his wife. He's vowed to put safeguards in his life so he'll never look at it again. Yet he fears it's too late. Can his marriage be saved? Will he even be free and fully forgiven? Our enemy, the devil, presents temptation as if it's no big deal. Everyone's doing it. What's the harm? But the moment we catch on to his scheme, he switches gears. It's too late. You've gone too far. You're hopeless now. The enemy will say whatever it takes to destroy us as we engage in spiritual warfare. Jesus said he was a murderer from the beginning, not holding to the truth, for there is no truth in him. When he lies, he speaks his native language, for he is a liar and the father of lies. It's John 8. If the devil is a liar, then we should never listen to him, not when he says our sin is no big deal, and not when he says we're beyond hope. May Jesus help us dismiss the evil one's words and listen to him instead. We rest our hearts on his promise. If you hold to my teaching, you are really my disciples. Then you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. Let me go back here on something. Something I've been thinking about for a while, but I made a video on it before and really need to do it again. But I've just not... I've actually tried a couple times, but I got to fight through it. This is the father of lies. If the devil is a liar, then we should never listen to him. What does Paul say in... I should know this by heart. I've said it so many times. Shows how long it's been since I've read the Bible. Paul says, hold every thought captive. Okay? In a spiritual sense, and a lot of Christians get this wrong too. All of our thoughts are not our own. Okay? We are given many thoughts. Things will pop into our mind. You might get, and I've had this over many times in my life, where you get a thought in your mind, a terrible thought about maybe a family member or something like, where did that come from? I would never think of something like that. That's nothing to gain from what's like someone being harmed or something like that. Some just terrible thought will jump into your mind. A lot of times anger, something will trigger, boom, this and that. We don't just, hey, I think I'm going to think of something that triggers me and gets me really pissed off. We don't necessarily do that. Thoughts just happen. Okay, these things come in, it's going on. Okay, so it's like it says here, if the devil is a liar, then we should never listen to him. If our thoughts are not our own, okay, you might sit down and say, I need to think about how to fix that motorcycle. So we got thoughts going. But sometimes these seeds get planted in our mind. Where we get into trouble is when we act upon them. If you have, and that goes back to 1 Corinthians 2:6 or 6:2, when it says, hold every thought captive. Spiritual warfare, hold every thought captive against the teachings of Jesus. I should know that one by heart too. I used to. And so you get these thoughts in our mind, and then if we become in agreement with it, we're getting thoughts in our mind from a spiritual entity. We'll call it the devil in this case, according to this chapter, verse here. If the devil is a liar, then we should never listen to him. But if he's feeding me thoughts, putting thoughts into my mind, and I realize, whoa, wait a minute, this is not something I should be thinking, it's not something I should be doing, or this is a wrong, I'm going to avoid this, then I'm not listening to him. But if I'm going along with it, if I become complicit, if I, hey, yeah, I got a point there, but if all of a sudden I'm in agreement with it, now I've aligned myself with who's speaking this thought into my mind, the devil, okay, I'm now in a whole lot of trouble. Okay, I still have free will. I'm choosing to go along with it, whether I'm aware of it or not. That's the big deal. Okay, so if the devil is a liar, then we should never listen to him. We have to be careful of these thoughts in our mind. Okay, because where our mind goes has a lot to do with what our heart is doing. Not when he says our sin is no big deal. Not when he says we're beyond hope. That's basically the gist of this little thing here. Father of lies. It's if the devil says, "Oh, that sin's no big deal," and then you do it, he says, "Oh, it's too late. You've already sinned too much. You can't go back on that." We know that's not true. We can be forgiven. We have a forgiving God. But the point here I'm trying to make up is when you get those, that's where our spiritual warfare our spiritual warfare takes place, is in our mind. We have to control the mind, because if a thought comes in, whether it's something I visualize, I'm watching on a phone or read, whatever it is, the news and politics and all this kind of stuff, if it alters if I got the TV on and Hillary starts talking, I can't watch that. But let's say I'm going to watch it and I start getting that resentment building up. Oh God, here she is. Why did they even give her a camera? Why does she even have a platform to speak on? Go away. And I start building up this resentment, and I start thinking these thoughts, who this person is, and all that she's done. And then I'm thinking negative thoughts towards her. Now I have all this resentment. Okay, no matter how bad she is, but now I have this resentment going on towards this person. Well, as long as you have an ounce of resentment, you no longer have any forgiveness in you. You cannot resent someone you've forgiven. You say, well, what's it matter if what's it matter if I forgave Hillary or not? The idea of me being forgiving to Hillary is so I'm not carrying any resentment, and I am still now in line with the Spirit. John 14, 15, 16. I am following those steps and teachings of Jesus now. I've aligned myself with him. Whereas before, when I have this resentment towards her and I'm feeling it, I go, oh gosh, this kind of thing. Who have I aligned myself with now? The father of lies. See, we have to be very protective of the thoughts, because the thoughts are going to alter our I used to talk about this, our mental state that we're in. There's another phrase for it, doesn't matter. But if I see something that causes an anger, you can always be angry, things happen. But if you're angry towards someone, you have to be very careful. Okay, anything that will turn into resentment now, as you are no longer forgiving. I may not want to forgive Hillary, okay, but I have to forgive Hillary to put away that resentment. Hey, God's going to take care of her. Hopefully he straightens her out and everything works out and it all goes. That's not on me, but I can't hold any resentment towards her, and I just got to let that go. Jesus and God are going to take care of that, okay? Because I am commanded to. See, you see when it goes back to that the Lord's Prayer. It says, we're commanded to. We forgive everyone so we can be forgiven. If I got hold resentment for anyone, I'm not forgiven. I don't care what any preacher tells you. You read that any way you want. We got to be very careful in that regard. Anything that's going to give me any kind of resentment towards anyone else, which is very hard, we have to realize, whatever vengeance or whatever judgment needs to be put on that person, God's going to deal with that. They're going to have to work that out between those two, not me. Okay, I'm not holding any resentment there. I need to be clear of that. I want no smoke on me. So I need to make a different video on that sometime. Anyhow, love you. God bless. Your thoughts are not your own.